Welcome everyone, Jason Smith here. Welcome to the AskGolfNut channel podcast, and as always we are enjoying the technical woes. Good afternoon Bucko 5, hope you're well. So everything was working. We went on earlier on to make sure that I could hear Andy could hear me. We did a quick private YouTube one to make sure that the YouTube could hear me and YouTube could hear Andy. And in the time it's taken for us to obviously come off, me get everything sorted out with the countdown, etc., and then pop back on. No one can hear me. I'll pop over and say hello to Andy first. Hello, Andy.
Yeah, but you can't hear me, so it doesn't matter.
Right, I have a feeling by this, everyone can hear Andy, which is brilliant. Because if you say something now, Andy.
Yeah, they can hear me.
I can see Andy's little readout going. Problem is, I can't hear him in my ear. So the one good thing is, that does tell me it's one thing. It's a Discord setting somewhere. So under normal circumstances, when this goes wrong, I have to kind of try and pad and do things at the same time because you can't hear Andy. However, as you can hear Andy, Andy, pad while I try and work out what's going on so I can hear you.
Oh,
I can't remember. I can't hear what you're saying.
Solo show. Alderson, hello. Niels is in the house. Looks like we have no agenda today. So it's a bonus. We don't have to hear the puns, but I guess we're doing a completely Q&A session. Assuming he can fix the audio.
You call me a what? Got him.
The first time.
Happy days. Right.
Oh, happy days.
So, that's the reason we got little bits up here, and I'll put up my little thing up there. There we go. Everyone will know that. That's a shameless plug. www.askgolfnut.com.
Why is it the go-to source for club data reviews?
Absolutely is the source to go to for someone who is looking to buy golf clubs, or even really nerdy and loves golf club tech and golf club performance, measuring metrics and stuff like that. But it's mainly, and always was, for the golfer that's looking for or thinking about buying equipment. And they've got a set of whatever, and there's 90 plus or so irons on the database now. And I will be asking people to, Andy, remind me that I've got to remember to ask the audience if they could help with other brands. Anyway, right. So it was always designed to try and, in a world full of information that says marketing and media that basically just tries to convince every single... Hi, BB. Welcome along. In a world trying to convince everyone to buy this, to buy that, this one's the next amazing thing, that's the next amazing thing, and all this lot. It's frustrating. AskGolfNut was designed to get the real measured metrics of how a golf club works, whether it's forgiveness or consistency, face speed, consistency when you don't hit the middle, things like launch factor, how much a golf club, whatever dynamic loft you deliver into the golf ball, how much does that golf club then convert into physical launch? Because some golf clubs launch considerably different to others, loft adjusted. What's it, 15 degrees difference is the largest difference we've got currently? Is it 15?
68 to 82?
Yeah, 15%. Yeah. So quite a considerable difference, especially if you add speed in the equation and stuff like that. So all of these different things, when people are basically trying to be sold equipment, and stuff is so expensive nowadays. Equipment is just so expensive. even by using the website, and the self-fit tool is an amazing thing for this, that you can get an approximation of your gapping of when it starts becoming non-functional. Even if you learn from that, just a simple thing as, whatever the fitter says, there's no way that 4 irons or 5 irons can be functional, I need to be moving into something else to make it more of a functional flight. Then you're going to save yourself a couple of $100, some case quite easy, a couple of $100 just in one golf club, let alone getting the wrong set of irons. So that's the reason why it was all created. So thanks for reminding me, Andy. Because I just reminded myself. On the channel, on the website, we have basically all the major brands. We've still got some infill to do, so that's not a problem. We're getting around to do the infill. However, what I would like from everybody, if they really want to see the likes of Mura, Ben Hogan irons, Vega, or all these not obscure brands, but brands nonetheless which aren't the commonplace 10 big ones or so. If anyone can find the media link, email, whatever it be, and then send it through to me, AskGolfNut at gmail.com or j@askgolfnut.com, either one of the two, I will then do my best to reach out to them to get their golf clubs on the channel so we can get them tested, we can get them reviewed, and we can get all the performance data on the website. So if you could do that, it'd be great. Right, go on, Andy. You say something now. I've done my bit.
No, I was just going to say, no, there's going to be a couple of highly, and I think Matt will be, that's all going to be on us no matter what.
Do they not?
I don't think so.
Okay. But they must have an email.
I'm sure. Yeah, it was just a website email, right? They sell through GolfWorks mostly.
Absolutely fine. Even that works. If there is no other link from a media point of view and it is purely just that, and if people want to send, if that is the only thing, send that through. And then I'll do my best to try and reach out to them. And again, if anyone has got any other ideas of how to get a hold of Titleist, reached out to him again last week.
The only other way to get hold of Titleist is to walk in their central office, take hostages.
See, the interesting, I think I'd have to come to America, because where is there, is it Carlsbad or is that Ping?
That's Ping, right?
Yeah, which ones, I can't remember where Titleist is in America, I don't know. But if you go to one of the HQs in the UK, it's just a sales place. That's all it is. It's not in any way a link to media side. I've tried, just useless. That's my own personal opinion, of course. Excuse me, YouTube when he pops. Right, let's go and look at some of the chat. Niels is second. Bucko 5 managed to get first. Well done, sir. Steve Alderson. Hey, Jay. Hey, Steve. Hope you are well. Niels, Andy here in YouTube as well. Absolutely. He's here. Happy Andy. There he is. Biting at the bit to go. We've got all these nice little kind of things. Have you noticed we've got all the crowns on there now? And they are apparently top fans.
I think they rate people on how much they've posted.
Oh, there you go.
The more lines they think, right, the higher the crown rating.
Oh, in that case, it's a challenge for people to try and get their crown number up higher. We have Steve saying, got a GT2 10 degree set at D4, bit cut spinny with a lot of height. Any quick adapter setting that I can make, to bring it back. Oh, let's go get the, Andy, off the top of my head, can you go get the Titleist chart up? I must admit, the problem is, when I was coaching custom fitting full time, I was constantly just absorbing all of the new different things. The problem is, as time has gone on, obviously, as I don't coach in custom fit anymore because I'm concentrating on YouTube and the website full time, a lot of the stuff, especially like with the Cobra, I mean, that 33 SureFit, I mean, that's just an amazing adapter, but it has got so many different combinations. But Andy, Steve setting at D4.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the driver one. For some reason, it pulled up the right-handed.
I would
D4 is
assumption is
plus loft, neutral.
we can, yeah. Draw setting.
Standard lie plus loft, half closed.
So, bit cutty with a lot of height. We're looking at trying to reduce a bit of height and a bit drawery. Now, can we pick that lie up?
We want to increase lie, so that goes C1, B1, C4, B4.
There you go, R2D2.
Closing the face, C4.
With lie.
Yeah, lie up. What do you want
There
to
you go.
lie down? No, lie flat.
Lie up. Lie up.
5 flat. Lie up? Okay.
Upright.
B2, A2. Yeah,
B2.
B2, A2. If you lower the loft, you open the face. So.
Yeah. So we'll go standard or one of those two, A2, B2. Try and bring it back. I'll get the lie up, which will mean get the loft looking a little bit further left. Get a little bit more of the old, go that way rather than that. And if we can try and keep the loft off it as well, obviously because you're saying here a bit cut spinny and with a lot of height, give that a go. Also have a T150, but I'll save it. I would. Steve's saying T150 44 something, and I get a bit diggy on tee shots. Yeah, my brain thinks it's grips. I have. Is it feasible, or does it make it more sensitive?
I mean, diggy on tee shots is a slow point, right? Your low points. You're dropping into the shot.
Yeah, no. If he's got a T150 44 degrees, so he's running like the pitching wedge or whatever it is, gap wedge or pitching wedge.
Oh, I thought it was. I don't know why I thought that was 44 inches on the driver.
Oh yeah, he's
T150 iron.
Yeah, and then the grips. I mean, okay, grip is the only contact patch that you have with the iron, so it is important that you get that fundamental thing correct. Yes, and that is feel. Give up this whole idea of fat grips, too big goes out to the right for a right-handed golfer, and then too thin, over release. That's been proven many times to be wrong. Absolutely right for some golfers, absolutely wrong for some other ones, and a mix in between. They're equally just sporadically right and wrong. So there's no surefire yes, no. So could it be the grips? If it's playing on your mind and changing grips would be a good idea, just changing grips on that one. If that's what you feel, obviously we are noted in 44 degree, that is the problem club. So just change it. It shouldn't really, even if you went SM10 on a pitching wedge loft, you are not going to get sufficient difference in bounce and grind option over that of the standard T150 bounce and grind that you're going to get on a standard T150 to make any difference. And if you are diggy, then you'd have to go excessive on bounce and grind to make any difference. And still, the issue is not, it's the contact. But yeah. Updates on the robot. Andy said something a day or two back that sounds like issues are being encountered. Yeah. However, fixed, we think. We had an issue. I'll explain in a sec. Eero's in the house. Hello, Eero. Hello, all, Eero says. I tried the MCC Plus 4s, a little different feel, but liking them. I'm not a fan of the MCC. I just don't like MCC. I don't like anything with rubber and cord, all the other way around. You know what I mean? I don't like corded grips. Some people will love them. Andy, what do you like?
I hate them. I hate CCs.
Don't mince words, fella. Just say exactly what you feel.
I don't know if it's just the way I grip it. I just feel like I understand that to help to maintain your grip, but I feel like they just cheese grate. the shaft is never going to be 100% rock solid in your hands, right? It's always going to be some movement within your, you know, it doesn't mean you're changing angles, it just means that it's flexing within your hands, and that always just cheese grates. I find the better my grip is, the more the MCCs cheese grate my hands.
They are rough. And yes, they are, I mean, it's better than corded all over. They are complete corded grips, which I absolutely hate, and at least they are part rubber. But no, I am a +4 kind of guy. Absolutely, yes, I am, but I'm a tall velvet. I like the feeling of this softness. Now, CP2, as Bucko5 has just said there, not the jumbo, that's brave. I used to have the CP2s on my wedges, especially on my 58, through the feel side of things. The thing is, I suppose, as time goes on, I mean, the problem is I have so many different irons that get sent and I end up with used chrome velvet that I have to use. I don't, generally speaking, get a say on grip. A few manufacturers do specify to the media what specs you want them in, and they should do more of that, because it would, from a brand's point of view, it makes absolute sense to reach out to all of the YouTubers to ensure that they get whatever product they're going to get to review in the spec that they require, because not all people are lucky like me and not shaft sensitive. So most golfers are, well, all golfers are within a spectrum. Some are not shaft sensitive whatsoever in a very small amount, and it goes up to hyper shaft sensitive, and everyone's in between. But you are going to get the reviewers which are somewhere within that bounds, and why would you ever risk a bad review based on just the individual, the YouTuber in question, not liking the specification, which the random specification which they were given? It doesn't make any sense from a marketing point of view. Why would a marketing company put out a situation where they are risking getting a bad review because they just didn't even ask a question? Doesn't make sense, personally. But yeah.
I mean, CP2s are my grip of choice, and then in my second probably grip of choice is a CP wrap, not CP wrap, but tour wrap. And then, yeah, maybe a velvet after that.
I can remember doing a set of golf clubs for someone, and they had white tour wraps. And
I've seen. I'm not against that. I kind of like it.
They look great new.
Yeah,
does not take long before they look really quite bad. Iro is absolutely right. Jay does not like them because they aren't chrome. I do like a chrome one. We have, just so people know,
chrome grip. The CP, the tour wrap in like a metallic silver would probably look chromish, because they're very shiny.
Right. One of the reviews I was asked to, my earpiece is falling at me here. One of the reviews that I've been asked to do for quite some time, never really got round to doing it. Can't believe I actually didn't do it. Was this. That's the MIM. Ever since doing the Limit 3D, then the 3DP, I've been asked, I don't know how many times, what about the MIM? What about the MIM? The metal injection molded iron. Different to forge, different to cast, and it's chrome. Mostly. So automatically it's amazing. No, I have got a review of that coming out very, very soon. I've got quite a few reviews coming soon. Oh, I've got 6 videos on the go at the moment I'm trying to edit, so it will all be coming over the next few weeks. Yeah, busy, busy, busy. Iro says, we are all in the spectrum, Jay, not just for grips. I'm definitely in the OCD spectrum somewhere. But yeah, that's what's coming. I'll put that back, because if not, that will literally just get stood on. I've done that before. Hashtag ZXi7. Had to get a brand new one. No, not ZXi7, it was ZX7 Mark II. That was quite funny. But it wasn't quite funny, not at the time. Steve has just asked, ZXi7 or new T-Series Right, okay, so I cannot answer that question without a big question mark, because at present I have not been able to get my hands on the new T series for two reasons. One, because Titleist still are not in any way answering me, so frustrating, shall we call it. And then therefore I have to wait, and I have to wait for the point of retail. And the point of retail, I think, is at mid to end of August. I think. I even went to the point of
20th,
going.
I think.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. I even went to a point of finding out the number for the area sales manager for Titleist in this region that deal with all the accounts in this region, and WhatsApped him. He's read it, not replied, and
You're
ignored
on the
it.
blacklist.
I am on the blacklist, and I don't know why. I don't mind if I'm on the blacklist. I don't mind if a manufacturer says, look, we looked at the way you review products, equipment. We know that we aren't allowed any form of... if you look at a lot of the latest T-Series videos, and even a lot of the Titleist reviews in the past for even their drivers, Titleist are a brand that love controlling the narrative. You'll find a lot of times they are requesting them, whoever they are, to go to their national fitting centre to get fit, and they will do the filming there. They will do all the reviews of the different things there. So Titleist can control the narrative. I don't like that. I want to be able to do everything my own way. I want to do the reviews how I want to do it. I want to data collect everything. The quad doesn't care. I might have my own bias towards what I like the colour of, or what I like the feel of, or the look of, whatever it be. But that thing down there does not care. All it does is register shots. And I just whack it, and whack it some more. And at the end, I stick it in the heat map tech, and it spouts out the information. Heat map tech doesn't care what iron I put into it. I'm just putting data into it, which that gets. So, unfortunately, Titleist, I don't think, like the way I do things, because they've got no control over what I say, or no control over the narrative.
What I love about the whole new releases is how before the new irons released, like everybody would talk up the T200. It's such a good iron, but once the 250 came out, it was like, wow, it's so much better than the 200. Yeah. Was the 200 actually good then, or is the 200 bad and this one's better? Because it can't. If the other one was good, this one can't be significant. You can't make something that much better than a good iron. It's just not much room, no room for that. So either the 200 was bad, or the 200, the T250's been overhyped. What are the other?
Well, I think initially we absolutely know that the T200 from 2023 was massively overhyped. If you look even at the T200 reviews all different people did, a lot of the information they were giving out was straight from the marketing machine of what this golf club will do. And yes, I know if you're going to go to a fitting, the fitters are basically going to spout the website of what the website says that it does. However, Adam, 3DP, I'll get to that in a sec. So it's amazing. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll get to that. It's amazing to me, a brand such as Titleist, as big as it is massive, that they won't even have the professionalism to interact with me, to actually just openly say, Jay, thanks for your many attempts at trying to get in contact. However, at present, you are not the right fit for us. We would prefer to concentrate on our current media partners and how they construct their reviews. We will, of course, relook at the situation as the years go on and looked at that kind of... I'd respect them so much more if they would literally just email me or something with a reason, but just to physically ignore, there you go. So we'll just do this and then we'll talk about the robot. Don! Hello, buddy. Hope you're well. So, Steve, I'd love to give Pete a ring. However, unfortunately, Pete now, there is no direct line to Pete. Pete, as he's got much, much bigger, has now got his team, and so I'd have to go through his team and all that lot, and it's, yeah. They can send you Rick Shell's allotment. He's on the banned list too, is he?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure they'd love to ban him, but I don't think they can afford to.
I mean, I haven't seen if Rick has done a review of the Titleist. I don't know. I mean, I know he's getting Guy to do reviews now. I did hear. Someone said, was it on Discord or somewhere else? I can't remember. That Guy is now doing reviews on his channel rather than actually him. So it's now not the Rick Shields hit. It's now with Guy. So with that logic, Andy, you start better getting some cameras because you'll be on camera soon doing reviews.
I mean, I don't think people will learn a lot.
Adam, 3DP. The ZXi5 is a very, very good iron. The i240 is a very good iron in itself. Is it better than the i230? In some ways, no. In some ways, yes, depending on what you need. You've then put under that 2 lines down, forgiveness. So we are definitely looking at forgiveness. 3DP. Because the 3DP is fundamentally different to every single iron we've ever tested. And Andy and I, when I was doing the 3DP data sets, we sat down at length to try and be as fair to every single other iron as we possibly could do. Because initially, it all went green, like everywhere. It was ridiculous. And I agreed. It was just...
Even if you accept that maybe from the classic way we measure it from the fastest point on the face, that it may not be the most forgiving iron on our charts when you measure it that way, just because we measured it that way. But if you take into account how little of a forgiveness drop it even has measuring it that way, and ignore the fact that if you measured it the other way, it would be the most forgiving iron by far, but the other things that it also brings to the table, it's as fast as any other iron on the charts. I see so many people online complaining that his spin is just too low, and I'm like, dude, he's got a high launch. Why are you arguing over a few hundred RPM of spin? Like,
spin is a massive thing.
Like, these people are all playing like in the Scottish Highlands, like on the coast, where they've got to hit it at 10 degrees of launch with 10,000 spin, otherwise they can't stop a green. But most people don't be able to deal with that kind of scenario.
And even that, I mean, that is such a very narrow requirement. No iron really is going to work. Even if you get the most spinning, because obviously we measure face spin rate, loft for loft adjusted, how much does one golf club spin the golf ball? Everything exactly the same, loft for loft adjusted. And yes, there's difference. There is quite a big difference between the irons. However, with spin specifically, people have got a massive, and I don't say it's the people's fault. Again, it is myth, it is marketing, it is media, and everything that says about strong lofted irons and the spin. Why was no one worrying about a 5-iron spinning at 5,000 RPM back in the day? That was absolutely acceptable. There was no problem whatsoever. But now you've got a 7-iron, and it is going with 5-iron loft, say 27 degrees, but it's spinning as well as the previous 5-iron was, but it's launching 10% higher. How is that a bad thing? It's not. It gives you more distance, it gives you more functional distance because it gives you more peak height and your more descent angle, and spin is only there within reason. Okay, you can't have 12 RPM of spin on a golf ball. but no golf club does it to that extent. We are talking relatively minor amounts, but it's important that you have a consistency of spin, not the amount of it. That's the spin thing, but yeah, drives me insane, the spin thing. But you're constantly up against it, constantly.
And it's just confusing how they think the difference between like 5,500 spin and 6,000 spin makes a massive difference, and it doesn't make a difference to peak height. It doesn't make a difference to stopping power, other than very few strange circumstances. It's not like the driver where the difference between 3,000 spin and 2,400 spin is a massive amount, because it's a third of the total spin. But when you're only talking less than 10% of the total spin, it's diminishing.
And the speed you hit it. I mean, if you're looking at a driver, the difference between 1,000 RPM on a driver when the ball is traveling through the air at 150 miles an hour, it is huge. It's not only as I say, a large percentage of its actual spin number that's been the differential. It's the speed that it's going through the air and the lift that it creates or doesn't from that. You then transfer that into a 7-iron where ball speed's 100 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour, something like that, and you move 600 RPM, even 1,000 RPM, it's not going to make a massive difference to it. When I say massive, it's marginal, tiny differences. And the tiny differences that you'll get from even 1,000 RPM difference, which is massive, but the difference that you get in launch factor by far makes, I don't know what the amount, the multiplier is between spin and launch factor, but the interesting thing, to get a similar amount of descent angle and peak height, you would have to increase spin by factors of 10,000.
Yeah, you have to go from like 5,000 to 7,000. And you can't do that within the range of an iron. Iron can't add 2,000 spin magically. The only way you're adding 2,000 spin is you swing it a lot faster, or you're dramatically changing your angle of attack.
Yeah, your spin off changes. But 3DP. The 3DP is still, as far as I'm concerned, don't care what Andy says. The 3DP is the most forgiving iron I have ever tested. I reference from the middle. I'm trying to hit the middle every single time. I don't try and necessarily hit the fastest part of the face. I have been programmed over years to try and hit the middle. And what happens when I hit the middle? I lose 2% of ball speed from the middle. And then when I go... Yeah, effectively it is. So I move then low on the face, 5-6 millimeters, and I gain 2%. I go further from 6 millimeters low. And because it's only 2%, you don't notice that difference. It's that difference between, would you rather at 0, your middle, be at the pin, and then 6 mil low, you're 2 yards or 2% too far, and then anywhere else on the face, you're 2% short of where you are. As opposed to normal irons, let's go by the same 2% plus 2% loss, which is still amazingly good. 4% difference across extremes of the face is really not bad at all. But I would much rather be what I was there, 0 in the middle and then +2, -2, because you're still only within 2 of the flag, as opposed to every other iron that we've ever tested goes 0 at the face, the middle of the face, the fastest part of the face, and then not a linear, but a drop off around from that point, and you're always short by 4%, 5% in some places, in some irons 6, 7% or whatever it be. You're always dropping off. The 3DP is amazing. The only problem with 3DP is it's bloody expensive. Like, really expensive. Although cheaper.
Somebody just ordered a set today for forward pitching wedge for $1,600.
So,
yeah.
Dollars, which would be what, 1,200? Yeah, something like. I mean, someone do the. Hang on. Yeah, give or take 1,200 quid. Now, won't lie, £1,200. That's not far off trade price. Well done. Well done. So yeah, well,
Anyhow,
done good on that. Right, so Eero wants to know why are so many irons being released in the middle of the summer. It's the so you get 2 releases every year. You'll get the main releases. Silly season is December, January, February, and then you get an intermediate. You get a small one, relatively small one, and that depends on the release cycles of different manufacturers. One year you'll get more than others, etc. But effectively, that's what we're seeing.
and you got to remember how things work too, right? If they only released in July, they've already the tour players have to have had them in their hands for several months before they go into competition. So if you're releasing them right before the season starts, they're not gonna have them on hand without them being on. So if you're going to have to put them on the conforming list and the pros use them anyway, you might as well just release them to the public, because the public never wants to argue with what the tour players are playing.
Yeah, and also you have to look at with manufacturers now that have got so many irons, and they have got so many irons on their.
You couldn't release them all at the same time.
If you don't have a split release, and you start saying, right, we're going to be doing the game improvement irons this time of year, we're going to be doing the players irons this time of year, we're going to be doing the woods. That you have to split it. If not, it would be so difficult for the marketing machine to get the story of whatever iron in question they want and keep it loud out there. It would just be drowned out by so many releases. And so that's why they split it, because again, they try to sell as many golf clubs as they possibly can do. So
S3 to replace
Robot. Very quickly before I get waylaid. So we got the new motor, and it required some different things. It needed another power supply to run it, so we had to go get another power supply. We had to create our own cable, because when we were doing all of the initial testing of it, it wouldn't work. And then we were racking our brains to try and find out why it wouldn't work. We changed the settings galore on the driver to try and make the motor do its thing. And then we worked out that all we had to do effectively was ground one pin of the cable, which doesn't have a wire attached to it, to ground, and suddenly the motor started going, hey, winning. However, the cable which they sent us, wonderful China, it doesn't have the right cable attached, soldered onto the pin for us to get. So I had to make my own cable. I had to go get a breakout adapter and make my own cable so I could attach it to the drive and all this lot. So that was done. And so Andy and I at one point were like, well, I think Andy was a little bit more emotive than me, quite happy that things were moving. And then there was an incident, we'll call it. So the day after we were trying to work out, with moving at 720 degrees, so 2 360s to like whack and then a slow down loop, how fast it was going, because it was moving quite well, and I was trying to time it effectively. I thought, well, do 1 360, but then it's slowing down to get back to stop. So let's just do 2 revolutions, and I can then start and then stop. But there was always going to be a certain amount of error of me, the human being, starting pressing the button when it started, and then when I saw it stop, press the button again. So Bright Spark over here had the idea, well, what we'll do is we'll spin it 10 times, and then any error that I have when stopping it, at least then it is then divided over 10, and then the error rate comes down massively, which sounded logical. However, the motor was sitting on the ground, and this thing is not small. It's quite big and quite heavy. And cut a long story short, what happened was, oh, we got loads more. Oh my word! Keep doing the comments, because someone's winning soon. We done 10. And for the first 5, it was absolutely fine until it started literally tumbling around the floor like a fish out of water. You know those YouTube videos you get when you like speedboats going down there, and then suddenly this kamikaze fish comes straight out of the water into the boat itself and starts flailing around like this. Well, that's what a 20 kilogram motor was doing on the ground. And it broke off one of the ports, rather beefy ports, that was in charge of supplying power to it. So yeah, that broke. So we had a dead motor. Andy was definitely a little bit more upset than I was. I'm like, okay, I suppose I have to fix that. So outcome, Jay, the soldering iron. I had to find my soldering iron. I haven't used my soldering iron in about 15 or so years. I'm thinking, where did I put that soldering iron? You know that feeling. So I managed to find the soldering iron, and then effectively I soldered it all back on again. Done an amazing job. But then,
honestly, I was not expecting it to look like it did. Afterwards, you wouldn't actually know that there was anything broken, which is.
It was all right.
I don't hand out compliments too often, but it actually looked brand new.
It was passable. So and also the plastic housing, I had super glue because there was this plastic housing for the port just literally exploded. I had 3 pieces of that thing to put together, and anyway, after then putting it all back together again, doing this didn't work. And like, okay, let's find out why. So that evening we done some bits and pieces, it wouldn't work. And I said to Andy, all right, sleep on it. We'll come back the next day. I've got some bits and pieces I need to do on it anyway, and I had to shore up the frames. I've used some turnbuckles on the frame to try and stop it from, obviously when that motor was going, even when it was a small motor, it was moving the frame a little bit. So I've done some shoring up of the frame to try and make that a little bit more sturdy. And so then we went through the rigmarole of going through all the testing again. And at the end, it turned out to be not this, because this is the small version of the one I've got, but one of these. There's a little Arduino, and this is responsible from the computer to Arduino to the motor, that kind of idea. And one of the ports died, the port that was operating the, anyway, yeah. So that was a bit frustrating, but so it's working again. Yay. There you go. Right, so that's the update to the robot. So it's working again. I've still got a lot of work to do because the new motor has a different shaft diameter than the previous one. So I have to do some work when it comes to trying to connect it to the grip mechanism and all that lot. But it's positive. Things are looking good. Right.
This one definitely isn't short on torque.
Well, not from watching it fly around the room, a 20-odd kilogram motor. Because it's not just the motor, it's the gearbox as well. It is a fair old lump, this thing.
That's like a 5-pound gearbox as well.
I don't know how much it weighs.
It's a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if it weighs more than that. But, hey, AliExpress, you'll be able to find it. Right. So Don says, would you rather use a driving iron instead of a hybrid? Hybrids launch higher. So keep it lower, links course, or a 2R iron would be better. So, okay, if you have not got control over dynamic loft, then, and your view is to buy a specific piece of equipment for a specific job, then 2 or 3 iron would work. Remember with a driving iron not only has designed a very fast face, but however, very, very commonly, the center of gravity is low, low, low. They are still, even the manufacturers, trying to get that golf ball launching. And this is the thing. So sometimes this is why the old, you remember, was it 225? No, was it? Hang on. No, it's MP20 first. MP20, when the first hollow bodied as such for them, like the proper one that looked like the blade. They made that in a 2 iron. And Mizuno also made the Pro Fly High, the driving iron. But the MP20 actually, for that specific requirement, low flight was better because it was effectively the iron. As soon as you go to a driving iron, much bigger body, they have that option to pull center of gravity even lower, and then it starts forcing flight up. Great if it's a driving iron off the tee, so you can keep the ball in the air. That's a great idea. But trying to keep the ball under wind, etc., actually the iron works better. So I will always use hybrids because I can control dynamic loft. I can control my angle of attack. I can control my spin loft. I can hit the hybrid high, I can hit it low, and I can move it around if I need to. But that's because I've got control within reason over dynamic loft. Anyone else who hasn't got that control, obviously I would love for you to learn it. But in the meantime, you can buy equipment to do it.
What's the standard loft on a 2-iron? 19?
Depending on which 2-iron you're talking about. Because if you're looking at a driving iron, a specific driving iron, generally speaking, yes. I don't know if I've actually got one. I have, but it hasn't got any loft stamped on it. I've got one here, 3-iron at 21. That's a driving iron. That's a Wilson driving iron. I have got a 2-iron here from Mizuno. That was the original Fly High, Mizuno Pro Fly High. That's a 2. That's a rocket. I don't think I've got another driving iron. I'm not a driving iron fan because of its relative one-dimensional nature.
I would rather play a hybrid in 2 or 3 degrees lower loft than a driving iron. The benefits, I think, outweigh. Just you can even get it shorter shafted. Like a 17-degree hybrid, or adjustable hybrid dropped to 17. In a shorter shaft, you get all the benefits. That you get the low launch just like a hybrid off a driving iron, but you'll get all the benefits of the hybrid, forgiveness, and blah blah blah.
I was going to do a video between long iron and hybrid because there's a couple of times over the last year, I suppose, that people have made video reviews and said they're basically trying to poo-poo the difference between a hybrid and long iron. They're saying effectively if a driving iron and a hybrid at the same loft will do the exact same thing if you match speeds and stuff like that. Now, the issue that I've got with that is that within reason, they're not necessarily wrong because a driving iron, very big golf club, and I've got a Wilson one over there, I've got some couple of Mizunos, and they are quite big golf clubs. The hybrids are slightly bigger, so it has the potential to get some extra launch, but it is relatively small. The difference though, the big difference with a hybrid over a driving iron is the fact that you don't deliver the same loft. If you have, let's pick a number, 17 degrees, 20 degrees, doesn't matter what it is, 20 degrees on a driving iron, 20 degrees on a hybrid. A hybrid will always deliver more loft because of the nature of, one, you have a graphite shaft where these ones are commonly steel, and the fact of you will always get the hybrid wanting to kick forward and add loft. It will always want to do that because the center of gravity is further back. And so it will want to chase. So when you're doing the test, you won't deliver the same loft. And the fact that a hybrid's got, generally speaking, a longer shaft, you'll get more ball speed, more launch because you've got slightly more loft delivered. And so there will be a difference. When you start matching lofts, you're not actually delivering what actually happens in real life. You are doing an adjusted test, which what we'd effectively have to do, you'd have to go to the lower lofted hybrid to get to the same result. It's just wrong.
So I said go into 17 hybrid in a shorter shaft, you just maintain the dynamic loft. But the other thing is that, there's a reason why a hybrid is shaped like it is, right? They're pulling that CG backwards. It's not just down to get the launch up. It's a driving is still pretty freaking thin. There's not much room for face forgiveness there. You're going to have a big speed drop off. Even you remember on a 7-iron, right? You have let's say, middle of the range, 5.5% to 6% drop off. Well, now you put that same 5.5%, 6% drop off in a club that's going 220 yards. That's a big drop off.
Yeah, and hybrids have got curved faces.
Most hybrids maintain 3 to 4% across the whole face. Like, I mean, we've only got one hybrid on the database, but its face, the amount of green that it's got is bigger than most faces on most irons.
Yeah, it's not a fair comparison, but I was going to do a video like that, but I've probably ruined it now by telling everyone the results.
Yeah, at least the 10 people that are listening to us.
Just pull up to Woburn and demand clubs, Steve says. That's what I'll do, just pull up there. It's a great idea, by the way. Don says, I'm doing great, love your content, maybe the only honest reviewer on the tube. No, I reckon there's in other fields, there are definitely other people which do it on the basis of sod everything else, I'm just going to be honest. Of course there will be. I'm not here to necessarily poo-poo anyone else's work. It's just obviously the information that comes out and you think, okay, that's comes straight from the manufacturer, like that. So Steve's gone, guys' reviews equals lame. I haven't watched them. I don't know. I just heard that Rick's, is he originally he was something like in his Performance 54, wasn't he something on like the media, he was responsible for the media management side of things, wasn't he? Because didn't Guy come from Nike originally? He was a Nike representative, wasn't he, in the media and marketing side of things. But yeah. Iro says he had to pull his temper tantrum from the fitting. I remember that. I don't watch him, can't stand Guy. I remember the fitting video. I think a lot of people remember the fitting video that poor Rick did and made himself look a complete and utter idiot. Yeah, we won't say any more on that. But unfortunately, Rick is so big, they still wouldn't blacklist him. They still wouldn't. Steve says people need to make the right choice and watch AGN for reviews, not Guy. Well, I don't know. I haven't watched Guy's reviews, so Guy might be amazing. He might actually be.
If we're losing that to Guy, I'm quitting because that's not fair.
He might just be the man, and I don't know. Never watched it, so I don't want to necessarily say. Anyone else can if they want. If they've watched the reviews that Guy does and they want to give their opinion on his delivery and the information that he gives out, then I'm more than happy to read it out. I haven't watched it, so I can't necessarily say. Ryglado says, I was thinking of Mizuno S3 to replace my MP18 SCs. Hello, you were from the comment section earlier on today, so welcome, which I still like, but then I saw your vid where the 923 Tour was as good as the S3 and my missus toe side. Should I get the Tours as a blind buy? No, never blind buy. In the ideal world. However, if you are a toe striker, you're looking between a 923 Tour and the Pro S3, then the Tour is a slightly better option for you. If you said heel, then I would absolutely say the S3. The S3 is amazing. Absolutely amazing off of heel strikes.
And depending on your swing speed, I might even recommend the S1.
Yeah, I mean, S1 is really good, just average. It's not specifically good in one specific area like the Pro S3. Pro S3 heel, oh my word. When it comes to the S1, it's just like, it's like a Honda. It's just a good all-rounder. It's not specifically good in one specific area.
Obviously, it's face speed, but that's to be expected. But if you're not low on swing speed, then the S1 is a good Tour replacement if you want new.
It is just the wrong color. Just the wrong color. Need some chrome. Adam says, lol, I'm on the way to a 3DP fitter right now, so glad to hear that. Adam, let us know how you get on. Do not buy straight away. Absorb the information, take the information, and then walk away. Jump on Discord, grab the...
Don't just, whatever the fit, if the fitter doesn't show you the screen and tell you why it's good for you, it's not a fitting, it's a sales meeting.
Yeah. Everything. So I've always sort of said, even when I was coaching custom fit and full time, I always said that my job here is not to sell you anything. The right equipment should sell itself. If the clubs can't sell themselves, then they're not right for you. If the golf club that you're going to buy or thinking about buying doesn't have a tangible benefit to what you currently have, don't buy anything. I could say that on the basis that I usually get paid from the session.
We've just ruined Eero's whole existence.
No, Eero's different. Ignore Eero, anything that I'm saying. Eero only. Ignore me. You can never have enough golf equipment. Andy said that to me in private. Have either of you seen the Mevo 2 announcement? Andy?
No.
That's a no from me.
I've seen the rumors that it was, the rumor. I haven't seen in detail if there's anything actually better about it yet.
What's happening? Eero, what is happening? Let's go up a bit so I don't, like that. So Eero says, is the difference with how us weekend hackers think about spin based on driver and wedges, and we think that translates to everything? Only pros focus on the massive wedge spin. They get massive wedge spin based on the fact of how fast they swing and the crispness of their strike. Their spin for a tour pro is something which is actually a pain in the backside. They are commonly trying to reduce the amount of spin they impart on the ball by choosing balls which won't spin with wedges. I mean, you get all different people. Bryson's tried his spin. Tiger was a very big personality in golf to really want a ball to spin in a certain way, because again, these tour pros, they swing so fast. I mean, I can quite easily produce 11,000 RPM on my lob wedge. 11,000 RPM for me is ridiculous. All it would effectively do is hit the green and off it, especially in the winter times when you get in a fairly bounce and gone. So it's trying to...
A spin is just as troublesome as rollout. It's just the same thing. You don't know what it's going to do. Spinning, anything that spins across the floor is dealing with spin rate, friction, moisture. Yeah, there's no consistency to it. The best thing of all time is the board goes
donk,
plop, and stop. That's
Throwing
the best
darts.
thing you're aiming for. And if your goal is to have the ball come down and plonk, stop, spin has nothing to do with it.
No, that's the whole idea for me is effectively that, throwing darts, or as close to throwing darts as I possibly can do, because I can control within me being a human how I hit it and how I deliver the golf club, how I deliver strike, what loft I deliver, everything else like that to make the golf ball go a certain distance. What I cannot control is the surface the other end. What is it going to hit? Is it going to hit a hard patch? Is it going to be hitting a dry patch of green or a wet patch of green? Is it going to be hitting into a green where the grass grows towards you or grass goes the other way? All of these things make a huge difference as to what that golf ball will do when it hits the ground. So me trying to opt for, yay, let's have 11,500 RPM, let's see if we can get it to 12,000 RPM on this lob wedge, that is going to introduce so many different question marks about what that ball's going to do when it hits the ground. You might as well throw the idea of, you need to hit a number of carry, because there's no point, because you could get X amount or not X amount of spin and zip back just from the ground condition difference that you hit into a green. It's mental.
And you gotta remember how the spin equations work when it comes to speed, friction, loft, and all this lot, is that when you multiply anything by speed, as soon as you change speed, you change the outcome of the spin. Even a few miles an hour, a club head speed can change your spin rate dramatically. A change to friction changes your spin rate dramatically. So the more spin you're aiming for, the more those variables change your standard deviation. So like if you have to spin, your standard deviation is going to be half of where it is up here. And if your standard deviation here is 600 let's say 300 RPM, 200 if I'm generous, you got a 400 RPM spin difference up here. That's dramatic. That's dramatic.
Eero says driver makes more sense. It's in the air a lot longer, and the speed that you hit it with. So the lift difference is huge. Tyson, hello Tyson. Hope you're well. What iron would you recommend in place? Of the 3DP, for people who don't have that much money to spend on irons, specifically for people that want compact look with some help, P770 MP Pro 243. Pro 243 is really difficult to not say. i230, unfortunately, i230 is now discontinued, so you will struggle to get a custom fit set of new ones of those. P790 is not a bad shout. P790 is a good golf club.
770.
Say again?
770. I wouldn't.
Sorry, yeah.
790.
Yeah, sorry, I said P770. It's a solid golf club, but it's Pro 243.
Yeah, I think it comes when you're in that top echelon bracket, it all comes down to swing speed and your delivered loft. You know, there's, you know,
Yeah.
if you're a shaft leaner, you know, you're gonna want to lean to the ones that are 34. If you're shallower, I'm not shallow, but you know, if I don't, you know, my shaft lean on my 7 iron's probably only 4 or 5 at most. You know, I'm looking towards the lower end of the delivered loft. You know.
Yeah, we've had this conversation about
And that's what it comes
delivered
down
loft
to.
before.
All those clubs are in the same ballpark of forgiveness, where you're not going to notice the forgiveness or spin rate. You know, you'd hit 1,000 shots before you'd see any kind of correlation between the forgiveness. But, you know, then you're looking at speed and delivery to narrow it down to which of those top 5 is the right one.
I would, out of just those, the 770 and the Pro 243, absolutely Pro 243. The Pro 243 is a standout at the moment. But remember, it is being replaced in not even 6 months' time, so probably 4 months. I will be receiving the media samples in about 4 months. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing. Just
243 price comes down.
yes, so this is the interesting thing. You are absolutely going to get some deals coming forward, especially on rack sets, as in iron sets that have been sat on the rack in shops, and they will want to get rid of them. Absolutely, they will want to get rid of them before the new stock comes. So, yes. However, depending on what you require, let's just look at ping, for example. The i230 was up there with the 243 being a really very, very good iron in many different ways. It suffered in certain, like face speed, it wasn't great. Launch factor, it wasn't great. It was doing all right, but it was quite consistent. More than quite consistent, very consistent. But then the i2 came out and instantly was not as forgiving. So it's less consistent than the i230. However, it's got a faster face speed, and if I remember, its launch factor is also higher. So depending on what golfer you are, and remember, it is an I, not a G, so it is generally expected that the I player will be better at hitting the middle, I hate that, than the G. And so ping are going, okay, we've made something which is possibly too consistent for the kind of target market that we want to focus towards the eye. Let's take a touch of this consistency away and focus on trying to make it quicker, make it a little bit more, go blend with the i530 or something of that nature. So what are Mizuno going to do with the new, I can't say, because I'm not allowed to say what it's going to be called, but the new 243 replacement, what are they going to do? I don't know. And I won't know until about 4 months' time when I get the media samples and I start hitting them and I get very, very unhappy.
I mean, they kept the S1 and the S3 under wraps right up to the last second. Nobody knew nothing. People still don't know what else is going on with the S lines. There's so many rumors flying around that there's going to be 4 S clubs.
S Club
so
or 7? S Club 7.
Dude, you've got 80% American viewers. Nobody in America is even going to get close to that.
Oh, really?
That joke. Yeah.
Just not cultured. Iro says 243s are quite good, will depend on your strike with those, but distance can be impacted by swing speed, etc. Go along what Andy says. Iru also says, Cobra promised Jay a chrome 3DP. No, but there might be of the new ones coming. Everyone has seen the MB, right? So I'm not saying anything out of turn because there have been pictures on the interweb of joy of the new irons that are on tour being tested out at the moment. And they do look nice. And they are MBs, blades, and they are also 3D printed. If Cobra can make a 3DP into an MB, oh, I just want to know how easy they are to shine it and, you know, polish it up into a near mirror finish.
Well, actually, the Asian market has the chrome 3DPs already, and the chrome S1s, that is.
Oh, the chrome S1s. If they could just chrome some S1s. Please,
Yeah,
Mizuno.
you can buy them from Asia.
Oh, yeah, but I want them here. Just,
Yeah.
just chrome them. When is the Space Driver going to be on tour? Right, so I think this... I made a joke, I don't know how many months ago now, about the new driver. It's going to be made from space. It will be here in January, so it will be released in January. So again, I should be receiving my media sample sometime in December. Now, this will all depend on how good Mizuno are at getting their media samples out, because generally speaking, they are bad. They're like really bad. Like really bad. Sometimes they're fine, and other times, wow, that is the last one. The Mizuno Pro 241, 243, 245 was a prime example. I was one of the very first reviews of the 241, 243, 245. Why? Because accounts, so shop accounts, got the DNA heads, the custom fit heads, before the YouTubers managed to get their media samples. So I went straight to my closest Mizuno Swing DNA stockist, asked them very politely if I could borrow their heads to do some YouTube reviews, which they very kindly said yes anyway, because obviously that was before the point of retail date, so they could do custom fittings with them, so they could get the orders in, etc. But anyway, so I got that and I done them, and I was one of the first out. Everyone was like, "Well, how do you manage to do that?" Well, because I got off my bum and drove down the road to where they were there, and I'd done them. And then X amount of weeks later, the media samples turned up. Well done, Mizuno, on the ball. But since then, the forged was a bit of a joke. There was there was issues with the forged release. The black was supposed to arrive at the same time as the standard forged, but didn't, and so yeah. Other brands no different, but Mizuno at the moment have just had some shockers. Will you be reviewing the AI 150? I plan to. I just haven't, well, to be fair, I haven't asked for it to be sent. I've just been so busy with stuff that I have not had a chance to even do it. I could possibly get hold of it soon. My issue, Bax, with, welcome along by the way, Bax. My issue with Callaway stuff, generally speaking, is it's not a massive viewed content, and so with all the time it does take to create a physical review, it's kind of disheartening that I already know that that video possibly won't even wipe its own nose to make it worthwhile me even making. I will do it because obviously I include it in the website, and the website by far is the most important thing, to make sure that the website is as inclusive, like Wikipedia of golf clubs as possible. And so it is important that we have certain things. That's why I went out and bought the old T-Series irons, because without the old T-Series now in the website and the cost of getting 6 or 7 golf clubs doing it, you could then never have a frame of reference to understand how good the new ones are to the old. And so when I go out and buy the new ones, at least then I've got everyone watching, everyone looking at the website can see the differences between the old and the new. It's important. It's going to cost a boatload of money for me to do that. And thank you very, very much to every single person that has very, very kindly donated to soften the blow. I appreciate it greatly. But it's important for everybody that that information is out there for everyone. So that's why we're doing it. No different to the AI 150, that I'll get around to doing that because it's important that it's on there. So what have we got? Andy blew up a motor via math. Does it have the right spin number? Yeah, it spanned too much and flew across the floor. Jay's getting an IDI coated in chrome. Jay's not getting an IDI. I had the choice of having the IDI. IDI is such a tiny, very focused user golfer. There's plenty of other reviews out there that's going to be testing the IDI, that's going to say it's amazing and all this thing. So about 12 people will watch the video. Eero says, hit a Ping G444 hybrid this weekend, but needed more launch. Would that be more weight in the back? Yes, you can do that. It'll increase its swing weight as well, which will then also potentially increase its kick. And so it may produce more dynamic loft from that as well. So not just CG location, but then also kick. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. It wouldn't be my focus to try and manipulate the head with weight shifting, but I would look to see what other heads work maybe a little bit better first.
Doesn't Eero like heavy heads, heavy swing weight, by memory or not? I can't remember.
Well, it's because his irons are 1.5 inches long, so he can't help but have a heavy swing weight.
Big boy. Name withdrawn. Hello, sir. Hope you are very well. Thank you very, very much for jumping on. Did you say something earlier on? I've got a feeling you did. Right. Apologies. Debating going to the FedEx Championship, but the weather has been 100 degrees. All right, that's warm. What's it in here at the moment? 69 degrees Fahrenheit for the American market. What is 69 degrees Fahrenheit in the old proper way of measuring? Is it 19? Oh, have I lost Andy?
Have you? What?
Oh no, it's back again. No, that's right.
Oh, 20 and a half. 20 and a half.
20.5. There you go. A lovely 20.5. I'd lost Andy for a second there. His mouth was moving, but I couldn't hear anything. So, on my honeymoon, I went to Morocco, and that was 38, 39 degrees. And there is no chance that I'm playing golf in that. I was walking out and I'm thinking, I come from the UK, right? 38, 39 degrees is just, no. That is ridiculous. How can anyone live in a climate where it's nearly 40 degrees Celsius? It's like an oven. It's like getting into your oven. Why would you do that?
In Arizona, it gets to 42, 43 quite often, I think.
That's ridiculous.
But that's desert heat. It's a little different.
That's ridiculous.
Out here on the West Coast, when it's 100, it's also 100 humidity. That's what kills you.
There's other places to visit in the world. No. Name Jordan says, I cut an inch off my standard length 5 wood. Nothing wrong with that. So, one of the best examples of helping golfers that I had during my coaching and fitting career was just experimenting with lengths of drivers and 3 woods and 5 woods. So I was very, very lucky. So within my coaching and custom fitting suite, bay, studio, room, whatever you want to call it, I was so lucky to not just have all the different heads, all the different lofts, but hello, Steve. Thank you very much for subscribing. Stephen Cohen, welcome along. I was very, very lucky to have not just all those options, but I had all the different shafts, all the different flexes and all the different weights, but I had them all at different lengths as well. So I had ranging from standard 45 and 3/4 inch, say like in Ping, for example, I had the alters, which were 45 and a half, I think at that point. And then I went to a 45 to into a 44 and a half, and then to a 43 and 3/4. So that's getting quite small now, relatively, 43 and 3/4. But again, at that time, it was not far off what you call C Tour average anyway. Of course, they have a lot of speed and they produce clubhead speed. Doesn't matter if it's 43 and whatever inches, but the amount of difference that you could make to someone with them being able to control the driver by them hitting the middle more with a controllable length of shaft, even though they lost clubhead speed from something which is nearly 2 inches longer, but the fact that they could not even hit anywhere near the middle with such a long shaft, the gains that you were getting, consistency front to back dispersion and overall average distance with a shaft much shorter was incredible. The amount of difference that you can have. So name withdrawn, absolutely agree, as a brilliant idea to test. Your 2 pence, Andy?
Yes.
Hero says, high crossover feels great when hit well. Hitting it well is the problem. Driving iron, effectively. Driving iron, utility iron, whatever you want to call it. Long shaft, very long shaft, and little loft. It is one of those things that everyone loves puring, absolutely nutting a 3 iron. It's lovely. Even to now, if I absolutely just smack a 3 iron out the screws, I absolutely understand why people love long irons. I do. It's just they are so penal when you don't catch, because they're so long, and trying to control strike and try to control face to path, it is much more difficult with a bigger, longer shaft. The face is relatively small, the further away you're getting from it. And so hybrids just win. But Muras. Jay is the best, apparently. Hero says.
He's replying to your comment about letting him buy any club he wants.
See, that goes for anything. That does. I'm just gonna. We're just on that one, Hero. I agree. 100%. Jay's the best. Don says, hello Don, have you seen a Mevo 2 review by Breaking 80? Just out. Is it an upgrade, Andy? Are you thinking about getting an upgrade?
I think it's just a new shell for the most part.
Ah, okay. Haven't seen it, to be honest, Don. It would be, I've been frantically, if someone who's editing can be seen as frantic, I have been frantically editing today because I'm trying to get a video out for tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, I'll show you actually what this is because I do quite like it.
Can I ask, is that a doll sitting in the middle of your green?
No, that's Zuno.
What is that? What?
That's Zuno. As Zuno. So, Grace, my now 5-year-old, when she was younger, she couldn't say Mizuno. All she could say was Zuno. And so we named it Zuno.
It's 5 years old, it's still got the tag on it?
No, it's not 5 years old, it's 22. So yeah, it's 3 years old. Well, the tag comes off, you see, because she's pulled it I don't know how many times, and it does actually come off. But you can thread it back through again. I'm someone who likes tags. I keep the tags on things as best I can.
You've all the dash in your car still has all the peelings. You know,
No, however, my TV at home still has the little plastic, you know, the protective, you know, because my TV's got like a tiny, thin acrylic, plastic, clear strip right around the top for decorative stuff. You know, these flat panel things and stuff like that. And they have that film that you can, no, don't peel that off.
Are you touching that? Are you touching it on a regular basis that you need it to be protected?
Touching what on a regular basis?
The outside of the TV, that film is protecting something.
Well, you don't need to remove it then, do you? It's fine as it is. Zuno can sit there. Tyson says, thank you guys. You're welcome, Tyson. Thank you very much for popping on. Ask any questions you like. And he says, if you have speed, aka also known as 85 miles an hour plus, please try the King Tour. Very, very good iron. Slow as but very, very good iron. Eero says, order the chrome with the next motor from China. I wish. Callaway's fairway wood was a good fit more me this year. Face is hot. I think, was it one of their technologies? Was it hot something or other at one point? But yeah, that's Callaway. Love me some AZ golf, or Arizona golf in the summer. Greens fees are cheap. Well, yeah, because you don't make it all the way around because you'd probably die by the 9th. Dear me. Because they don't have any grass on them. Here is, it helps when pioneering. Don says, what do you want to show us from your bag in the back?
There's a lot. You gotta narrow it down.
Oh, I've got loads. Right, so anyway, that is what I'm reviewing tomorrow. Right, that is the black version of the VGI01, but I'm doing a VGI01 versus VGI02 because there are some specific differences between the two. And of course, if you are looking into buying the Vice irons and you want to know what the differences between VGI01 and VGI02 are, that is the reason why I am doing the review. Plus as well, it has the excuse of me to get this wonderful beauty. It's exactly like the VGI01, but black.
How did they not send you all that in the black shaft? Come on, guys.
Do you know what? I said that to them. I said to them, look, well, surely...
SVD shafts are the same price as the silver ones.
Yeah, because
it looks so cooler.
Yeah, because you get like a black PV coating, don't you? Right? And it's frustrating because I said to... What was her name? Angela, right? I said to her, well, the black heads look great, black ferrule, black grip, but surely you have a black shaft option. And they went, no. What? What do you mean you've got, what do you mean no? You've got no black shaft option on your black head? Are you mental? They went, no, we haven't got that. Like, come on, people. I mean, that's like 101. That's kind of like the easiest thing. Oh, we're going to make a black head. Okay, we've got some black ferrules, no worries, that's an option. Oh, we've got black grips, that's another option, but we don't think it would be a really good idea to stick a black option shaft in there. That would look really good if it had a black shaft.
They're the same price as they're the same price too. As
well,
or both. The DG Onyx and the ABS.
No, I don't know what this is. This is one of Vice's own. Their Wiz, is it their Wiz? WHIZZ or whatever the heck it is, doesn't matter. But I'm just thinking, really, even if you were to say, okay, we're going to price them $20 more, who cares? $10 more, $15 more, just to pay for the black shaft. The heads look really nice. I mean, in black, it just looks crisp. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the camera is really doing it justice, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look painted. It just looks like black metal.
It's lovely, and it's milled finish. It is a gorgeous, really gorgeous looking iron. Sharp edges. It's got a really, really nice finish to it.
It's got to be the same tech as the 925 forged. It's got to be the paint
bonded as such,
into the forging. Yeah, into the forging.
It's just great. And then you go and do that. Hey, that does not in any way change the performance of the head, but then nor does the black colour. And there's a reason why people buy the black colour, because it looks like that. That looks so much nicer. I tell you what, go get the other one, right? Because it looks so much nicer than the actual silver one. This is what I don't get. I understand what Nike are doing, right? But I'll get both of them and I'll go literally side by side. So
I should really have black gold writing, right? Where the other one's green, it should be gold.
I like the stealthy look of this. I like the fact that this has, it's
Midnight.
enough. Yeah, it's enough. It's like a stealthy, shadowy look to it, and it just does look really quite good. But this is nice, don't get me wrong, because you can get it in the grip, you can get it in the ferrule, and you've got it in the back of that. That looks great. That looks really cool. I like that. That's good. That's good. WTF.
Hey.
There you go. But they're really cool. I quite like them. I do love the black. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to, I've got to do the numbers video and bits and pieces like that, but yeah, that's the whole idea. Right, so, where we got to? Black is beautiful. Absolutely agree. I like that one. I prefer, the interesting thing, okay, I'm digressing again. I shouldn't be doing this, but I do. Where is it? Right, here it is. That one there. And where is it? What have I put it? Have I put it? No. What have I done with my forged one? I've moved it. I can't find my forged head. Oh, poo. What have I done with it? Answer on the postcard too. Jay's lost his forged head. It's around its. Oh, it might be over here.
Old Ford Lock, London, E3,
yep.
2
Got
NN.
Got it. Right. So this is the JPX 925 forged. I actually prefer it in the silver than that. That's a personal preference.
What do you know?
But look, it comes in a black option.
Yeah.
Comes in a black option. Makes sense, people, doesn't it? Right. So even though that looks clean, I do quite like it. But actually, I think I prefer the silver. I do in that one. You go to the Vice. I'm loving the black look, like properly loving the black look. Right, I'm going to put these back down here, out of the way. There we go. Right, that's that done. Get my calories in today, you know, the old steps. What iron reviews have been the most popular in terms of views? Andy? Off the top. Timu.
I just made that. We just passed 250,000 views after 1 year.
Yes. So the most popular iron, or most popular review I've ever done, 250,000 views a year ago, and that was the Timu ones.
I think in terms of individuals, I mean, a lot of the videos that are like the Old V News are up there, like the how to pick, like the choices.
I know, like the ping, like the G440 against the hot metal, that always does very, very well.
The 925 Forged is the highest video in recent times by quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
The S3 and the 925 Forged both are doing very well considering how relatively new they are.
Yeah, but then if you were to look at there's other manufacturers that don't, and this is, I think there is so many, like if you're gonna, let's pick on Callaway for example. In a release, there are so many reviews for Callaway equipment, no different to there is TaylorMade, etc., but so many reviews that there is so much water, you can't pick up the droplet in the massive ocean. It's not, Mizuno are slightly less populated, or at least reviewers don't seem to prioritize a Mizuno launch in the same way they do, say, a Callaway, for example. And so then for me personally, it's a lot easier to get that out there and seen by a lot more people. When you're looking at something like Callaway with the amount, like it's just, yeah, it's dropping the ocean to a certain extent.
It's interesting because the AI smoke video did really well, but that's almost because it's almost a negative. But the last AI videos, I don't think did anything.
Yeah, like the 200 and 300. What did the AI 200 and 300 do? Off the top, well, I don't know if you can, you'll probably better see.
I can't do off the top of my head. I'd have to look them up.
Yeah, I don't think they did great. So this is the thing, when you're trying to, like the AI 150 is a perfect example. When you're looking at a 200 and 300 video, all the time it takes to do, it takes about 2 days, give or take, to do a review. Is it worth doing?
19K in almost exactly a year.
19,000, both of them.
Yeah, I looked at one, but I imagine they're both pretty similar.
Don't know. I'd be surprised. One may do more than the other ones, but it doesn't matter. 19,000 in a year, that will wipe its nose.
Oh, the other one did 14,000.
Yeah, so yeah, it's it's fine. It's fine, but considering I've got a subscriber base of 32,000, give or take, it would be really lovely if every single subscriber watched the videos. If every single subscriber watched my content, spent a very small amount of time of their day just to watch, or even just turn it on mute and just continue doing what they want to do, or always hit the like button. But if they did that, then life would be so much easier. Well, we don't. So, Eero says that's inexcusable from Vice. I absolutely agree. The cat agrees with Eero. Inexcusable. Don says, yes, agree, black shaft would be better, very much so. They whizzed on that decision, says Eero. Don says, you can get it in black graphite shaft. Yes, I know. But then Don says, but only in regular. And Eero says, I have a set of JPX forged in black shaft, and they look nice. They do look nice. They do look nice. Generally speaking, I've never really been a fan of like funny, weird colored things. I've never really been into, so I had a chance to get the, can you remember the Azalea Green Masters, the 241s that came out? Can you remember them? Yeah, so I had an opportunity to have a set, just be given a set. And I said no. And he went, are you mental? Not Andy, the guy at Mizuno said, are you mental? Why would you not? And I said, because I don't really like them. It's not something, I like my chrome. And so if you were saying we're going to send you a specifically chrome set of this, I'll be, yeah, lovely. I'd love that. But because I didn't like them, I thought it wasn't fair for me to have a set of something which I don't really like that much, just because I can have it, where that would then stop someone who really does like them, love the look of those, from having a set. And I feel it was important for that one person who I'll never know who they are, to have the opportunity to have the set which they really love. And how fair would it have been for me just to have it because I could?
You could have looked at it the other way around. You could have taken them, sold them for $3,000, and somebody still would have got them because they wanted them.
You're going to go on mute. Yeah. Anyone knows me knows my morals will stop me from doing anything such as that. Everyone's different. That's absolutely fine. I'm not saying that what other people do is wrong. I just think that I shouldn't make any money from something that I was being given. There you go. So I didn't have a set. No different to the blues. Can you remember they done a set of blue-headed Mizunos, didn't they, blades? that's no different, exactly the same. I've had blue wedges in the past only because they come through as a media sample. So this time we're doing in blue, we're doing in black, and we're doing in silver. We're going to send you the 3 different colors so you can showcase them on a review. Absolutely fine. Do I really like the blue? It looks nice, but the only thing that I have ever had, and I'll be honest about this, the only thing that I have ever had, because I liked them, was a set of those MP20 3 to pitch and wedge, the copper head only. Can you remember them? Andy's going, what did I have for dinner?
You told me I was muted.
No, I said I'm going to mute you. Didn't say I was going to. But I did have a set, and they are sitting up in a display case behind me. And they're the only set of things that I distinctly wanted.
Did you see the Callaway copper looking new ones? They're hideous. Hideous. They don't look like they're like copper metal. They look like they're like leather.
Rusted.
It looks like they're made out of leather.
Yeah, it's an interesting blend of copper and whatever they put in, and I don't necessarily. It just look to me they look dirty more than anything else. They don't look. It's not like, so ages ago Mizuno did the copper denim. I can't remember if that was MP20 or MP22. I can't remember. MP22 maybe. They did the copper denim, where they had the copper look, but then they put some like flecks of black into it and stuff like that. And that looked really quite nice. But many, I think the only ones that have really done really what so Cobra did a set of copper irons, didn't they? The Ricky Fowlers that looked quite good. They did look nice. But yeah, so the only ones I've ever had from a point of view that I've really wanted them, and I have stopped someone getting them. I'll tell you what, I will pull out. No, not that one. Hang on. Ooh.
It's like electric wire cutter. The hint of bronze.
It.
Have you ever even hit any one of them?
I did actually think about keeping the plastic on them because they came in the plastic.
They'll look really nice in the case in the plastic.
Yeah. But yeah, they do look nice. What does everyone think? Win or not?
So is that with the copper underlay without the top layer on top? The
Yep.
top layer? Or?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what it is. It is exactly that. It is the 1025E nickel plated, copper plated, nickel plated chrome, but without the final 2 stages. It is copper and then, which I've never understood. How does a set cost £3,500, right? For a set of heads.
You put less material on them. Yeah, they're a manufacturing defect, but they cost 3 times as much.
Yeah, maybe that's what they are. They're a set of, I don't know how many there were. There weren't many. And what do they actually have written on the sides? I can't remember if they actually had them written on the sides, if there was one
It
of
says
whatever.
sucker written on the side.
Yeah. Hashtag idiot. Oh, they did. No, I never actually, because these come straight from Mizuno, like the archives of Mizuno. You're not going to be able to see that. Well, you're not going to be able to see that at all. Hang on. I might be able to
Does it say number, what, 334?
Hang on. Okay, 34.
334. That's close.
No. Yeah.
Hashtag 34.
It's edition 34. There you go. I wonder who had number 1.
Mr. Mizuno.
Yes, whoever he is. But I mean, I know that. I mean, I've got the. Was it the 3DP? No, not 3DP. I've got the original Limit 3D. I don't know if you can see that. One of
500.
Yeah, that was the original. I got the first one, but yeah. But there you go.
That's worth something.
Probably, but you know me. That was
in 20 years' time when we look back at the changing point in the iron construction. Number 1 of 500.
Yep. When I die, and they end up sort of doing.
At least your kid will be able to sell it because hopefully she doesn't inherit your wood's morality.
Yeah, it's either that or my son Cam will end up saying, "Oh, what's this? Oh, this rubbish. We'll stick it on eBay." It's fine. I mean, more like go on there when I'm about 84 on Antiques Roadshow. That's the program in the UK. You can kind of get the idea. Right.
That's global. That's
is it?
US too.
Oh, okay. There you go. Right. So very, very quickly because it is now 20 to 9. Where are we? Those were amazing looking. I agree. I could have had them from Jay, but he didn't think this all the way through. I prefer a simple, clean look like the ZXi7 or i230. Ryan, yes, I do prefer, let's say the 230 to the 240. I prefer the looks of the 230 because it's cleaner. I agree completely. Aero Vice Putter, that is really kind of, wow, striking. I love the colour of the VGP02. Vice Golf Putter 02. Very good. Those are fugly. What is Aero saying? Which ones, what was he saying?
Callaway.
I was about to say, not getting onto the. Anyone says the copper heads are fugly, we're falling out. Hero managed to spam chat enough to move to number 1. Hero says, I like to think of it as a community participation. Still love those, absolutely. Neil loves. See, Neil has got my taste. Just copper. Lovely. Ryan says, lovely iron, but prefer a chrome or satin finish than a copper. How do we ban Ryan? That's a great thing with aesthetics, with subjectivity, with opinion. It will differ different people. This is the whole thing about the thing going back to the azalea green irons. There's going to be people that would have given parts of their anatomy to have a set of them, but I just didn't like them. And so, again, I didn't feel it was fair me having a set and taking a set away from someone that clearly would have liked them. So there you go. Right. Andy, is there anything particular? Oh, hang on, very, very quickly. I'll see if I can do this. If I can do this, I'm not quite sure I can. Very quickly. Let's see if I can do media source. This may or may not work, and I apologise if it doesn't. I've got to try and I hope I don't get moaned at for this. We will see. Did anyone watch the women's ladies open? No. So if I can do this, but I want to remove the audio if possible. Not quite sure if I can. Right, so I will put this on top of everything. If I remove the sound, I reckon I'll get away with it and I won't get a terms of service strike from YouTube. But
playing alongside Mimi Rhodes.
someone hit it to there, look, on the previous shot. And there you go. That is the single best assist ever. Have you ever seen anything like that? That's got to be the best assist ever.
It happened in the men's tournament a few years ago, right? He pitched it long and right, and then it rolled back down the hill,
Yes.
bumped the guy's ball, and then went in.
Yeah, I've seen that one, and because he was going to miss the green or something, wasn't he? And then it bounced around and then came in or something, and then on the slopes and then knocked off the ball. That has to be. I mean, she was really close to a hole-in-one anyway, and just missed it, and of course, used the other ball to go in. And his sound is breaking up. Well, I think we're just about to call it quits anyway. Just the cat, yeah. Right, let's just make sure I'm not missing anything on there. So Neil says, I was just looking at the JPX 925 map finish in real life today. They're still very, very unpretty to me. Dots, I think the men's one is better. Rest in peace, back deflection. Oh, sorry, rip. Rip back deflection on a near 90-degree angle into the hole. That was more fortunate, yes. I just like the fact that both of those were amazingly good shots, and the fact that the one beforehand finished an inch away. I mean, that is one heck of a shot anyway. And then to have the next shot, which was arguably going a fraction too fast, it probably, if it would have hit the hole, it would have gone in anyway, but to use the other ball as a slight assist, and we're talking an inch assist. Yeah, it was quite cool to watch anyway. Right. Both women deserved the hole-in-one. They did. The first one, that was like a properly good shot. Like one of those ones that you think, this is getting close, this is really close. How did that not go in, kind of thing? And then to follow it up with the next one, wow, that was quite good. Those girls are very, very good. They are. And if you look at the distance that they hit, and they're not massively long, and you see the length of golf courses that they play, it gives every amateur man an understanding of what is doable when it comes to their swing speed, and if they were to work on their game, how good they actually could be. The biggest issue with amateur golfers is obviously the technique and stuff like that, but the biggest one also is the time. They haven't got the time to be able to practice and put in the time they need to get better. But you see the men's, and they're swinging at swing speeds that you guys can't even, if you're not Andy, you can't even understand. I mean, I'm not slow, but even I am on the lower end of the PGA Tour. But those girls don't swing massively quick, and they score amazingly well. And so just goes to show what can happen even if you don't swing at tour speeds, at PGA Tour speeds, just how good you can be if you apply yourself in the correct way. Dots says the first one rolled just left at the edge of the hole. It did. I saw that one because I looked at a few different clips first to see how close the first one come. But yeah, done really, really well. And of course, to see that one go in, it was good. Right. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it as always. Thank you very much for your time. It's been enjoyable. Well done to Eero. Eero managed to get the top spot in the end. There we go. Eero has managed to get 150 XP. Well done, Eero. Oh, it's just up on here. You can't see. Yeah. And then Neil's the second, joint second as such with Don. And then certain someone. And then he goes down. So it's quite, yeah. I quite like the whole idea of that. There you go. Spam. I'm spamming it now. Just before I go to say goodbye, etc., again, I will just ask anyone who wants to, feels they want to, if they know of any media or even the normal info emails to the manufacturers, let's say to Mura, let's say to Vega, let's say to any of the different brands that we don't cover on the Ask Golf Nut channel or website, then please, if you, I don't mind if you want to find the emails, send them through to me at askgolfnut@gmail.com. I don't mind. Or Jay at askgolfnut.com, either or, I don't mind at all. I will then reach out to them and see if we can get their irons on there. Obviously, Maltby are another one. The Ben Hogan are another. There are so many different brands as yet have not, I haven't reached out to because, again, I've just been too busy with my normal day-to-day stuff. So how I'm actually going to get them done, I don't know, but it's important that we try and grow the AskGolfNut.com database of performance and all the different things that's on there as big. I don't know already. I'm thinking that the AskGolfNut.com website is one of the biggest databases of performance-based metrics that I know of. Andy, you can tell me if I'm wrong, because
No, I mean, like where you can actually see the data.
yes,
Other than the raw shots, and that's not going to help you see the raw shots anyway, because the amount of math it takes to build the raw shots into something presentable is. Yeah, no, you're not gonna. I mean, even cool clubs, they've stopped putting stuff on their website, and you still see it in the videos, but they're not updating their website unless they're planning a big upgrade somewhere. And even then, their numbers are all relatively.
Well, there you go. Eero says if ChatGPT, that's the reason why he's gone on some kind of spammy AI website. If ChatGPT has verified it as the biggest database already, and we're half a year in, or just over half a year in, can you imagine what it's going to be like in another half a year?
What did you ask to get it to reply that to you?
Go on, Eero. What was your prompt? His prompt was basically this. ChatGPT, can you please literally type back the following? ChatGPT verified it as the biggest database. There you go. Copy paste. No, I didn't ask Andy. I did it a while ago. I didn't ask Andy. Did it a while ago. Oh yeah, and didn't you? Yeah, you asked. You gave it some information or something. You asked it to look at the website.
Yeah, that's on the news and updates section somewhere.
There you go. See, which reminds me, I need to update it again. Just it takes, I got just the admin, and it's going to become the bigger the database gets. We've got now nearly 2,000 registrations on the website. So obviously not all are users and stuff like that, not our active users, but we've had nearly 2,000 or so registrations on the website. And again, we're looking at 90 plus irons on there at the moment. It would be great to get 100, 150, 200, get some of the old stuff on there. I mean, like JPX 921 forged, or whatever that one is there. Is that forged? No, Hot Metal Pro. The Ping i500 and the i525, having something like an i210 or something like on there, and other ones as well. It'd be really cool to get on there. What we got down here? Hang on for a second. Hold your hats, boys and girls. JPX 919 forged. And back in the day, the old culprit of the quickest redesign that I've ever seen a manufacturer do, the JPX 900 forged. Yeah. So we are going to do these at one point, and I will whack them on the website. My idea is going forward to try and populate the website with older golf clubs, so we have not just new ones on there. We can start putting some older stuff on there so you can see the progression of the design. I mean, if anyone's seen the Ping G series, the G440, G430, G425, G410 and G400 video that I did, because I had all of those heads, you can see how the design of Ping themselves have changed the design as time's gone on, and in their push to create higher and higher launching heads, you can physically see on the graphs there that as the years have gone on, effectively they've just their launch factor's gone up and up and up and up and up, and their spin rate has come down and down and down and down. And of course, that's what you get when you, generally speaking, is a pattern of increase in launch factor, but you decrease the spin rate. But again, going back to the old idea, spin rate is not important in that sense. Launch factor by far is massively, massively more important than that. Are the driver maps still being tweaked? Yes. Andy and I spoke with the driver about the driver maps. I think we've settled on, because what I was trying to do with the driver maps is that for me, the driver maps look too penal. Anything over 10% was instantly just red. And so for a lot of golf clubs, it was red. And what I wanted to be able to see a little bit more definition in the head itself. And of course, we're limited to as many colors as we can go. So we can go like yellow, what was it, Andy? Was it green, yellow to red? So we get the oranges and stuff like that on the way through. But it's what I wanted to do is I wanted to increase a little bit of resolution, so you don't just see a big red head and this green blob into yellow, then red and everywhere else. I wanted to be able to see more of how much drop off you get from, because into red, just into the red at 10% is red, but then far off to the heel where you could be losing 20% is still red. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make that a little bit easier to understand how bad is bad. And so I think Andy and I have come up with the compromise.
Yeah, we upped the scale gradient a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. And so it does make other golf clubs, which are very good, look even better, but that's fair because we're trying to gain resolution on golf clubs which lose a bit more, not just say red at 10% and red at 20% and red at 100%. We want to gain a little bit more resolution on that, and so of course it then does have the effect of making the good drivers on there look a little bit better, but then it's the same for all, but it gives the person who's looking at the drivers which don't do so well a better understanding of how much they actually lose.
Yeah, we made those gradients before we ever had any real club data, so picking the original gradients was kind of like, you know, shot in the dark that we were going to get it right over a long period of time, and it shows up that maybe we were a little bit
harsh. Well, I think we just basically use the same metric that we had for irons into a driver, but we found out over the passage of time that regardless of what you do to the efficiency maps on a driver is generally speaking really very, very good. But as soon as you go to a distance factor map, there is far greater distance drop off than just 10% across the face. It can go much, much more than that. And so on the drivers, we've had to change that a little bit. Poor cat. We've had to change it to try and get a little bit more resolution. So, right. Thank you very, very much for watching, everyone. It's been a pleasure as always. What we're going to be doing going forward is we're going to be going back to how it was before. Once a month, we're going to be doing open all access to every single person on the YouTube world. And then from every other week Andy, feed your cat, says Hero. Pick the cat up, go on. Pick the cat up. What we'll be doing, we're doing a weekly live stream for all of the members of the website, all the Discord people and stuff like that. So the best thing to do if you're a website member, a YouTube member or anything else, bear in mind YouTube's I want to turn off. I want to turn the YouTube memberships off. So if you are a YouTube member still, please can you come off of YouTube memberships and go onto the website only. It's much better for the channel if you could do that because YouTube take over 50% of everything as fee, as their cut. So if you could do that, that'd be great. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you very much for Andy, and thank you very much for the cat for adding in entertainment. And don't forget to comment on any videos if you've got any questions. I'm in Discord, etc. There is the link in the description below. That's where we are most of the time. So thanks, Andy. Appreciate it as always. And We'll catch everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think next week, because next week, technically, I'm on holiday.
Oh, fancy.
I know. I don't really, not say I don't want to. I do want to be on holiday, but I've got so much to do. I could do with it being another time of the year, but it's fine. It's all good. Thank you very much, everybody,
Bye-bye.
and we'll see everybody again soon.